Hi everyone, welcome to my Treasure Dawat. Hope you are doing good. So, the other week when I was talking to God, I was reminded of something very precious. My early memories of Jesus, the way I used to see him when I was younger. I always saw him as my friend, and there was so much joy in that friendship. So today's video is about friendship with Jesus. And while I talk about this, I'm painting an image that represents that story. Jesus hugging a little girl. So the little girl is my younger self. My story actually begins when I encountered Jesus at 10 years old. I'll share the details of that encounter in another video. But from that moment on, Jesus became very real to me. Not just someone I prayed to, not just someone I read about, but someone I knew. I really enjoyed spending time with him. I loved reading his word. And what was really beautiful was that he would always respond to me. Not always in dramatic ways, but through words, through scripture, through dreams, through little confirmations in my heart. I knew that he is alive, and because he is alive, that relationship made me feel alive too. So I found myself remembering those childhood days, and here is the interesting thing. Back then, I didn't even know that the Bible actually says Jesus calls us his friends. I only discovered that later in my adulthood. Let's look at that verse. John 15:15. It says, "No longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not know what his master is doing, but I have called you friends, for all things that I heard from my Father I have made known to you."
That's such a powerful verse. Jesus makes a distinction. A servant doesn't have access. A servant doesn't know the heart or the plans of the master. A servant simply follows instructions. But a friend has access. A friend comes near. A friend is trusted with insight. A friend has intimacy. Now, if we read the verse just before that, John 15:14, it says, "You are my friends if you do whatever I command you." And that can feel confusing, right? Because you might think, if I have to obey commands, doesn't that make me a servant? But here's how I see it. Servanthood is primarily about obedience and disobedience. A good servant obeys diligently, and a bad servant disobeys. Servanthood is task oriented, it's performance based. But friendship is different. A friend doesn't obey because they were hired to obey. A friend obeys because they care about the relationship. Their motivation isn't fear of punishment, it's love. A servant thinks, "I need to get this right." A friend thinks, "I don't want to hurt this relationship." So the focus shifts. Obedience is no longer a burden hanging over your head. It becomes a joy flowing from closeness. It's not about earning approval, it's about protecting intimacy.
And I think that's such a beautiful invitation from Jesus. If you constantly feel like you are failing God, like He's keeping score, like He's disappointed every time you mess up, I want to gently challenge that picture. Jesus is not out to get you. He's not keeping a list and checking it twice like Santa to see if you have been naughty or nice. He is inviting you into friendship, a real, deep, intimate relationship where you have access to Him, where you can come close, where obedience flows out of love, not fear. And that's what this painting represents to me. It represents what it felt like when I was a child. The simplicity, the closeness, the security, just me and my friend Jesus. And maybe today that's the reminder we all need, that if you consider yourself a disciple or follower of Christ, then Jesus calls you his friend. So, this is the final look of my painting. Hope you enjoyed this video and were blessed by it. Don't forget to like, share and comment under this video. And if you are new around here, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video. Bye.